is there a legitimate possibility that Jimmy Garoppolo will be the quarterback of the 49ers next year? Like, if he wins the Super Bowl. If the Niners win the Super Bowl, will they have to bring back Jimmy Garoppolo? And I bring this up because, remember 10 years ago, the Ravens had a really mediocre quarterback, and they knew it in Joe Flacco. But he got hot. They won the Super Bowl, and they felt like they had to give him an extension. They made him, I think, the highest paid player in the league at that time. And they had like half a decade or more of mediocrity. It really set him back. So what do you think? Are the Niners going to do something similar if they win a Super Bowl with Jimmy?
They'd probably entertain it, would have to think about it, but ultimately I don't think Jimmy would want to come back. I think he's going to cash in and want to go elsewhere at this point. You know, I think, let's not forget like how the saltiness was looking between Jimmy and Kyle the last couple months, just because they started having like a couple of winning games or whatever. It's been like, you know, tapered off. I don't think he's going to come back. I'm 1,000% buying and I'm sold on the idea like Trey Lance is not a lock next year because again, you know, he's still a mystery. Now it's going to be worse. Now that he put a variable next to his name because of his injury. So I'm definitely buying. Like, you want to say Brady, you want to say whoever the hell's out there, I'm totally fine with
Rodgers, whoever,
anyone. I'm totally –
because it's going down in smoke over in Green Bay right now. That might get all blown up. I don't know.
I don't know about Rodgers. I think he has like $100 million dead cap next year. But anyways, yeah, I'm down. I'm 100% buying. Like, yeah, Trey Lance the lock next year. It's not there. Jimmy though, I'll go as far as entertaining, but I don't see it just based off him. And I'm not even still sure 1,000% they would want to, but it's just mainly on what Jimmy would do. Like they come back to the Niners, not unless they actually gave him like a lucrative deal, the same way we were talking about Flacco. But still, I mean, if you're the 49ers, if they get to the Super Bowl and they win it, it's not. I still don't see how it's going to be because of Jimmy. I'm sure Jimmy might actually start to show like his moments and stretches, but if I'm sure if they win, we're going to look back and be like, did they win it because of Jimmy Garoppolo? And if we say yes, then sure. And if we say no or partly, nah. I'm not holding my breath that if they do win it, that we're going to be like, it was because of Jimmy.
Look, I've seen enough of Jimmy. He's in his 30s. He's played a lot. If he gets hot and wins a Super Bowl, I'm not going to be like, you know what? He's elite. Nah, man. He got hot like Joe Flacco did, like Nick Foles did. I'm not saying he's going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not even expecting him to get hot like that in the playoffs. But if he does, they should not, under no circumstances, should the Niners bring Jimmy Garoppolo back next year. We've seen enough. We know who he is. He has a very good team. He can get hot sometimes. He's not elite. They should not bring him back next year. But if they win the Super Bowl, I think they will, man. I think Jed York, I think this team will just ride the good waves, the positive vibes, and bring him back. And I think Jimmy would come back because I think he feels like it's his team, it's his locker room, and, you know, forget Kyle. It's his team. I think that's why he came back in the first place, you know. But I don't know. I don't expect him to win the Super Bowl with Jimmy. That's a whole big thing that they would have to prove. But if they do, I can see the Niners being like, hey, man, 6 Lombardi. Let's just give everyone a lifetime contract. Jimmy, you're here for life. Kyle, you're here for life. Good times. And then in a few years, they'll be just like the Rams right now. Terrible. Sorry.
I mean, you're going to say Jed's going to be the one that's pushing for it, but Jed answers to Kyle, not the other way around. And I think Kyle's like, I really don't think like Kyle's going to be like, I'm not sold on Trey for next year, but I'm definitely not sold on you, Jimmy. Thanks for, you didn't win this. I won this. Knowing him, he's probably going to say, I won this. And
Kyle didn't have the guts. Kyle didn't have the guts to move off Jimmy Garoppolo for Tom Brady after a Super Bowl loss. You think Kyle has the guts to move off Jimmy Garoppolo after a Super Bowl win? Kyle always says he wants to move off for Jimmy Garoppolo, but he never actually has the guts to do it. It's like your friend who's always like, man, I'm going to dump my girlfriend and be single. Like, no, you're not. You're not going to do it. You're going to be with her forever, and you know it. So stop complaining about her, because I'm going to say what I think, and then you're going to stay with her, and then you're going to resent me for keeping it real. You know that? Those guys? Hey, what do you think? I think you should leave her. I think you should do what you said you should do. I think all the things you say about her, I agree with. Leave her. And then he's like, okay, thanks, man. Hey, guess what? I worked it out with my girlfriend. We're going to stay together for the 7th straight year. Well, then why'd you ask me? What did I have to say?
What are you doing Saturday? Oh, I'm with my girl. I thought you were breaking up with her, fool.
You told me you didn't like her. You said you didn't like her. Oh, yeah. Well, you know. Okay. That's Kyle and Jimmy Garoppolo. Don't tell me how you're about to hit the market. You're not. You're afraid. You're terrified to be single, man. Terrified.
It's gonna if that happens, then the best way to define that with the song is gonna be that Chingy and what's his name, Tyrese song. Every time I leave, everything something keeps pulling me back. That song, you
Oh
ever heard
yeah,
that song?
yeah. That's an old one.
I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back, and it's gonna be like me and Kyle all together, and it's gonna be like, oh come on, bro, Jesus.
That's true.
Christ.
That is true. That is true.
Just pour this hot coffee on me if that happens, man.
That's why I hate to think that Jimmy could come back next year, but I feel like there's something about him that the Niners just can't quit him. They just can't quit him. It's the smile. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen because as quality control, I have certain responsibilities, and this is a big one.
I'm just ready.
Got to move on.
I'm just ready for something new with Trey. I mean, just to see something how this offense is going to sprinkle and like blossom into. I mean, I'm just ready for something different.
You remind me of a quarterback that I